so what I meant by, and also I'm just gonna stick here for about 10 seconds while I wait, because I need to announce something anyway. Well, it's not really an announcement, but I am streaming pretty much 12-ish hours from now, or probably 11 hours really, because if I'm timing things right, it'll be a thing. I'll do a stream on Twitch. This is not the Batsu stream, but it is a stream because I did not stream yesterday, and I kind of want to make up for it. That also means within the time of this stream and the next stream happening elsewhere, I will, even though I just said the name of the site, I will need to be doing a thing, but we'll see if I do, because it's just going to be another custom character stream there anyway. So I'm gonna let that be the thing. Also, you see these events here because we are using a certain custom character. I was debating whether or not I wanted to use those events, but these characters, well, I think all 3 of them are not in the repository. But otherwise, next week should be a heck of a week because it's Christmas week for a lot of people, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's why I said a lot and not anything else. But before we get into this run, I still need to explain, because there will be a few, well, really, one thing that dictates, oh my goodness, D-I-C-T-A-T-E-S dictates the length of this stream, but we'll see if anything happens, because, yeah, I'm gonna be doing World of Horror again, because it's, well, there's not a lot of World of Horror streams. There's like a few every day, but obviously there are games coming out, and there are games that are out that other people are doing anyway, so if you're a general streamer, which I am not, because I'm apparently a World of Horror streamer primarily, as we get into the World of Horror character exclusive custom characters, yeah, I'm doing a World of Horror stream. I mean, there's no reason not to, as I get a semi-auto. This character is also a different version of the normal character. This one is meant to be a bit harder, as I keep doing a thing, and I don't know why I do this. But yeah, it will be a World of Horror stream. I have not really thought, well, I could do a thing. So let me see. Second mystery, dexterity, Takshisan, knowledge, strength, and maybe second encounter, but I haven't set everything up, so during this weekend we'll see if I throw anything on other websites, and then I'll try to ease in basically another game, question mark, even though I'm playing Spade the Slider right now. Even though, yeah, that's all I really need to say. So, we'll see. Definitely the next stream later on today will be a World of Horror stream. Now, what will happen afterward and for the next week, I basically haven't been doing as much as I should have within the past 2 weeks, which is why I've been kind of rushing here and there. I lost the notes, didn't I? Well, I mean, it says so, but we'll see what I can do, because it's not, well, I mean, I am under pressure, basically, but I'm thinking of things, and whether or not it'll be a good or a bad thing, on top of celebrating Christmas. For World of Horror, I will say, because it doesn't have anything to World of Horror, I was going to also say things, as I see Festival, Vigil, Nails, Sailors, Recluse. We'll take Nails now. I was going to do a Christmas thing. I was trying to make a mystery or 2 optimally, but I think I can only do 1. But if even not that much, I definitely want to do a lot of, well, I definitely have events. Even though it's really just 1 event, I've just written a lot of variations of said event. For Christmas, anyway. That's what I wanted to throw on the other side, and that's what would have been the bots, or I'm thinking is going to be the bots. Again, I'm still undecided, but that's why this weekend is going to be a heck of a thing for me, because I'm deciding whether or not I want to do it. It's not going to be even anything spectacular. It's literally just, again, at minimum, basically the same event with a lot of variations. And what I mean by that, again, you'll see if which means the streams during the weekend there might be 1 Harbinger horror stream, but after that, again, I was thinking of doing a lot of things. Just say make batch videos for Christmas, New Year week to not be too pressured. Yeah, well, the videos and streams are not what's pressuring me. My other projects are what's pressuring me. So, technically work, but this is also work too, categorically speaking. So, I mean, whether it is or not, I mean, I still haven't, it's not decided yet. That basically is just hearsay on my part about me, even though, anywho, let me just do this thing for a moment here. I don't have household hell, right? So I'm just gonna autopilot for a moment. Starting with the semi-auto is still great, even though I only have 3 strength. I only have 3 strength because it's a fast weapon. But, anywho. Wait, is this random item stats? Anywho. So yeah, this channel is not what's giving me some pressure. It's my other projects which are giving me pressure, which, again, I do have to set out a time schedule, so I do have to not choose, but I need to be... what's the best way to say it? I need to be able to not prioritize either. Basically do them simultaneously. I mean, that's just a boohoo poor... This is basically just a boohoo poor me argument, if we're speaking more objectively. But I do want to explain what's going on so that, you know, I can ease into the process of introducing things both on this channel and otherwise, so that it doesn't just come out of the blue. That's the other way I could phrase it. So if suddenly I come out with a video or stream and I'm doing something completely different, then I've kind of given you not fair warning. That's not the correct phrasing I want to use, or I should use either. And I should use, but anywho. Just want to say my part there. So even though I just said a bunch of hoopla, again, get into the process of sliding it. I usually don't like to just immediately do something. Like, obviously, some days I might announce, hey, there's a video or a stream is not going up. Usually a video. I don't think I've ever really canceled too many streams so far. But I did have things planned for next week on this channel as well that I'm thinking about. Do I want to go in here with this? I do. I should be okay. So, again, we'll see what actually happens, because that's all I really want to ask of other people to be aware of. That way, if things do and do not happen, and obviously a lot of other people, streamers, content creators, so on and so forth, are doing Christmas things, so I'm trying to be in one way, I guess, because there are a lot of ways I'm doing this, commercially aware of what's going on. Which, I mean, if I were in the full business mindset, I would be totally in control of what I do and do not want to do. Why did I do that, by the way? I should be able to handcuff. Okay, let me just concentrate. Okay. But, again, next week you'll see. Basically, next week is the week you'll see. Now, it might not be anything spectacular. That's the other thing I want to say. But it will set a precedent for the rest of the year. Now, I don't exactly have a rest of the year, if I'm realistically speaking, but if nothing else, it'll show... How do I want to phrase this without doing anything weird? It will show that I am not successful, because success is after the fact. And I don't want to say to put in the time either. Again, I'm losing the words. I'm not someone who's very articulate, but it will be nice to do the things I ideally want to do next week. Now, ideally, I want to do a lot more, but at this point in time, it's not as ideal. Something that I'm free to say, though, is that I do want to put out a 2023 compilation, but that will involve me doing some more work during the weekend. So, yeah. Yo, dog detective. Yeah, hey, it's... should I even say the name? I don't want to say the name, so it should be quite apparent. This character is not in the World of Horror Discord repository. I should talk about that a little bit as well, in terms of getting custom characters, but let me finish the thought. I'm going to be doing things next week. Now, I should actually write this down, because even though I wrote it down elsewhere, I've actually lost files on my computer as of a few, so I am currently... I'm currently relying on my memory to make sure I remember a few details of what I have planned for Christmas next year and this channel all in one. So yeah, that's that. And if I want to talk about something else, I'll talk about it. But otherwise, yeah, this character or other characters. So I might have kind of implied it before, but I'm also trying to, well, one, I'm trying to throw all of my characters on another site. Let's just say that much, which other people have already done. I mean, it's quite apparent, but on that topic, as I also figured out if I'm gonna live here, I should. I might be in trouble. I mean, I'll survive, but I'll definitely lose a lot of reason. So, I don't want to say, just in case I end up not doing it, but basically it's well, technically it's a very popular site for mods of video games in general. But I'm thinking of whether I want to throw up all the characters as a mod, if it's a pack, or just throw them up one by one. Which, I mean, that's that. But the other part is that on that, there's a reason why I haven't, well, I also haven't played characters that are still in the repository, but that's for other reasons. On this site, however, there are I haven't had prior experience with doing a lot of things on that site. And from that site, but I am wary of using characters on that site because of the term phrasing. Now, it's realistically speaking, I'm sure most, if not every single person who's thrown characters, events, mysteries on that site, I'm sure they're okay with it, but there's a reason I'm very, very particular with not phrasing, but basically terms of service, terms of use, licensing, and whatnot. And I haven't had a problem with that yet, because, I mean, anything could happen from now on. Said other people are doing it, not especially talking about, yeah. So other people have already thrown World of Horror mod content on this site, and if someone names it in chat, I'm not going to really point it out. I'm just going to say that I was thinking about it, because it would, I mean, there's no reason not to. It wouldn't hurt me to do so. So that's not the problem. The main problem that I was having was using content for videos and streams on this site due to wording that comes with using mods on that site. Does that make any sense? Even if it doesn't make sense, I will be happy to explain, because it's a heck of a thing. Also, I should take Festival now to rest. The semi-auto outdoes, if you have one strength, it pretty much doesn't matter. You use the semi-auto, but again, I like human common logic. I was about to say something else, but human common logic speaking, in terms of common logic for human beings, I'm sure it's fine. But again, you have to be. I'm very particular, and I'm very. I guess I'm in a more negative connotation. You can call it. You can call it picky, but I think the better, more accurate term is cautious way of putting it. Is I don't really like to do so. Use content from that site to, like, make videos or make streams and videos with content pulled from that site, which is why some people and a few have asked whether or not why I haven't played certain mods for World of Horror yet, and it's because it's content that is solely on that site, and there's nothing wrong with the site or me or anything in between or anyone who did things, but again, I'm just being overly cautious of the fact that you have to... Again, there's phrasing that is very apparent when you are using... Especially as a content creator or streamer. That, I mean, some people are not cautious, otherwise we wouldn't have... I can't even do this, because then... I just to be very safe, I'm not going to do it, but... Again, it's not anything bad. I wouldn't fault anyone over certain things, but yeah. Anywho, let me concentrate, because I'm actually about to die right here, so I'll get back to that in a moment. 50-50 pretty much here, or near enough. 72%. Let's go for it. And if I die, I'm gonna just do another run, but I could still end up dying. In the specific phrasing, I guess I should say that much, because otherwise it's just a bunch of hoopla and hearsay. But it's not an explicit site. It's not. So nice guaranteed reason lost, by the way. So it's not an explicit site. It's a very, well, there can be stuff there, but I assure you that the problem I'm having is not FW things. It is legal term things, even though, again, it's not really a serious problem. I'm just being overly cautious about it. And to an extent, you could say, well, you're being paranoid about it. But as we kind of rush through this time, just to try to do more, again, the specific thing is that there's phrasing like you cannot make modifications or do certain things, but mainly modifications, and sometimes, especially if a character breaks in World of Horror, I have to make modifications, because otherwise, how do I use the mod? And I've pulled at minimum 2 characters in the history anyway. I don't know about now, because I haven't tried yet, but I pulled 2 characters from the site that are not in the repository on that site to play for World of Horror, and they broke. And obviously, if I'm doing things personally, right, like if I'm using things for personal use, I guess is the more legally accurate term, then it's almost no problem at all. Also, do I have legal then? Hold on really quick. Yeah, I do. I did not set it, actually, is what I want to say. Whatever. But yeah, but if I do that and then stream or make a recording of said content, again, it's realistically speaking, I would not fault if someone else did that and they start using characters, events, mysteries from other places, then I don't really mind. But I know for sure that there are a few modders for World of Horror who do not want their content used in specifically videos, streams, content, so on and so forth. So basically for personal use. And they are don't, what's the word I want to use? I'm losing my words right now. But you want to basically do what they say. But again, on this site specifically, if I can't make modifications and then do things, I'm just being overly sure or overly certain that nothing really strange happens. I'm also just going to die again, by the way. And part of that is due, in fact, to this character's overall low stats. Perception and charisma are often... I mean, there's a fair amount of all types of stat checks for every stat, but that doesn't change the fact that overall this character's stats are low, if I were to provide some on-site commentary. But back to the topic at hand, yeah, just being overly safe. But that's one of the few tacits, or one of the few things I'm having trouble with in terms of using characters, events, and mysteries from other places, just in general. Because I'm not sure of the terms that come with using content and then playing it while I'm streaming or making a video. That's basically my one of the big issues with that. But again, if someone else were to do that, I wouldn't really have a problem, even if they're using my characters. So, because most of my characters are pretty much... Hold on, let me do handcuff tech quickly and do the censor. But most of my characters are like not owned by me, and they're different IPs, so that's part of the reason why I don't have a problem. But the other reason is that it really doesn't feel great to be bound by terms of service. Now, sometimes you're legally obligated to limit your things, but as I proceed to probably get badly bleeding here, normally, I just let people do what they do, so that's that. And again, this is not anything negative towards people who do not want their, content publicized as I take down the censor here. Yeah, I do. I did. Well, then I did it, but I'm just saying, from my perspective on this particular topic, as I take ward, it's not really a problem. But for me, I'm just being overly safe. Again, another part of that is that I have a warning that is slow, because YouTube introduced, we can say it because it's part of YouTube. YouTube introduced a system where you can get your warnings or strikes taken, or I think warning. I know definitely warnings because that's what I have. I have a warning on my channel. But because I've gotten that, obviously once I get the first strike I get, I can't make content for a week, which... I mean, even though I'm not, huge or anything, like, if nothing else, I still want to at least throw content up on my channel, so, yeah. And for anyone realistically, like, think about it, as we kind of go on a tangent for a moment. If you don't go to work for a week, if for whatever reason your boss says, hey, you cannot work for a week and you're not going to get paid. I feel like for a lot of people in this world today, that presents a bit of an issue in terms of everything, really. But even though, like I said, even though this is not the case for me, because, well, it is kind of the case for me. Again, I don't want to go too personal with it for reasons, but just understand when I say it's not something I would like. So if there's any risk at all, even though we'll devil's advocate this in a bit, but I don't want to take the risk. So any small thing is as indirect as it may be, I don't want any trouble arising on this channel that, is in my control. If it's out of my control, I mean, obviously I can't do anything about it. But otherwise, why did my Doom rise so... Oh, because of that boss fight in Teacher, that's why. But yeah, as I get to the devil's advocate argument, you could say, well, Jordan, you played a certain... Well, you've played multiple 18-plus games, let's be real here. And one of them is where my warning came from, but not for the reasons you think. Again, I just want to keep this on the down low because it's not really important. I mean, it is important to my channel, but it's not something you need to know. Just know that regardless of who is in the right or wrong, I do have a warning on my channel. Because I never know, because it's handled by robots. I'm certain that it was handled by robots, but that's not an assertion that I would like to push forth. That's just something I'm saying right now for the sake of saying, hey, there's a warning, things happened, and we'll move on. The only site I can see that I would talk about is there, but it's personally... Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So, again, most sites, if not almost all sites that pertain to this, I mean, not every... There's probably one or two, but... Most sites are not, there are no problems at all, and I'm sure no one has a problem, but because of how certain phrasing is used, I just have to be overly safe when I do things. Also, did I never take care of the badly bleeding? I did, actually. So we can take scissors now. Now, am I going to survive Doom-wise? No, but that's a point, that's a reason why strength is kind of important, especially if you have Teacher, but if you don't, sometimes you can eat it, but this character, from what I know... Because this character does not have a 1.01 version, but we're on Timeline B, by the way. Clap 4 bows. But yeah, you could say, Jordan, well, you've played certain 18-plus games, and yeah, you're right, but at the same time, we can use some common logic there, because the reason why I played those games is because they were very, very good on a very technical and gameplay standpoint. And therefore, I wanted to focus solely on that from an intellectual, technical, and scientific point of view. And that also ties into my channel as of current, because I did want to play at least a few games next week and basically showcase them. They're going to be very long plays, by the way, but definitely one of them will be one of those games, and that's all I need to say. But again, I do them very respectively, I guess, is what I'm saying. I don't try to emphasize on explicit moments, I guess, is what to say. And another part of the reason why I want to get back to them and do them for kind of a Christmas special week-ish sort of thing is because I was working with a scuffed mic, and so now I sound a lot better, and I want to just basically get my salty run back. Because, man... But what the heck? Trained HP because it's a vampire enemy. It's fine. I'll do Zektas. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, I wanted to go full throttle with it, but unfortunately my setup is my setup, so I can't play some games that I wanted to play, but it should still be fine. So, kind of swerve a bit. I still want to keep talking about this because it's kind of relevant right now to my channel, but... Let's focus on Zektas Tyrant character-exclusive custom characters. We only have 3 ZST to make up, but that's still enough to warrant some problems. Even though, yes, the semi-auto is an amazing weapon, especially with the Inspiring Novel giving me a damage buff, Knight Errant Zektas is still going to do a number on me, so... That's all I really need to say. The perks are kind of plus and minus, but if a perk really stood out, I'll talk about it, but I don't think there are. So, for this character. Knowledge, light, second encounter, strength, dexterity, and charisma. So again, to kind of give you a sneak peek as to at least one thing that's happening next week, because I know I've confirmed it, it's going to be one of those games, but at the same time, I'll say it in that video unless I forget, but I'll say it here now too. Those videos are even if I were monetized, I'm not going to monetize those videos. Heck, I can't even stream them, even though there are streams of this game. I would rather play it safe and just do a recording, so that's the version of me you'll see. Painting arms, ward, kana, and eels. But, yeah, it's much safer to do a recording of that game. And then as for everything else, again, I'll slowly ease things in. They're basically just RPG Maker games. Two RPG Maker. Well, actually, the one... That's funny because well, 3 RPG Makers, if we include the game that I want to play. But I'm making 2 RPG Maker games. One's going to be definitely free, and the other one is going to be a more commercial project. Again, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I'll probably put out a video or a teaser or trailer about one of them, but there won't be anything big. And again, don't expect anything spectacular. I'm not... They're basically, at this point, basically 2-3 week projects. But I do want them to have some longevity, so I will... Reward is not the right word, because then that sounds really weird. But basically, just know that that's what's happening. So, as I'm getting my reason pounded out of me, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, don't think there's anything much else to say. If there's something I need to say, I'll remind myself. Oh my goodness, my reason though, please. I'm gonna lose 3 grabbing kana here, but kana, kana is kana. But yeah, as we sit here, the more pressing, not issue, but the more short-term projects I have, because I did want to make, I think in the Discord server, you've seen me to upload at least an update to Elster. It's Elster from Signalis. But that's basically an update. I did want to make an actually new character that hasn't been made yet. But again, I had to weigh what I could and could not do, and that was something I couldn't make another character, I couldn't make other stuff. Now, I wanted to make Christmas versions of characters. That I can say, and I don't know if I'm still going to do it, but we'll see. Also, I should have used the illegal den, but it's fine. Arms, funny enough. But yeah, when I do the thing, I'll do the thing. And if I do more things, I'll do more things. So, actually, on that site, let me just say so here now, because it is kind of relevant to, or at least not a warning, but like kind of a piece of advice. How should I say it? Oh, also, I should just show this here, because this is a crash, but obviously this character is not supported for 1.01, but that's not really a problem. Any character that worked before 1.01 is likely going to work in 1.01, but just to show what happened, I'm seeing an error because of likely a character event. Now, did I put it in the right directory? That could be a me problem, but I feel sure that it's not. But it could be. So, but nonetheless, the actual problem, I'm just gonna throw this up because I can't. I'm trying to capture the wrong window. I thought I had something prepared and I didn't. So, we'll just throw this on screen here. And I'll actually just increase the size in a hot moment, but yeah. And again, this is not the modder's fault either, because everyone that's gotta do stuff. So yeah, but that's all you need to see, and then we can go back and the game's gonna crash. But okay, so what I wanted to say is that for uploading characters, just know that if there are limits, and people don't say it explicitly, but on sites you're allowed to toggle certain things about what you can and cannot do with mods. And if you make certain toggles, I will not be able to play those characters, or I will definitely choose not to play those characters. Now, whether I can or will is a completely different issue, but if I want to do another run, I should probably actually get rid of the events. I probably should do that now. So let me do that really quickly. But yeah, just know that if you toggle certain things, I will not be able to do it. That's why I'm very particular when people come to me and they want characters to be played, if what you're asking for contradicts what is there wherever you uploaded your character, I just know that I'm being very cautious about doing things. So, and this also doesn't even just include just World of Horror. This includes other things as well, like games, mods, types of content. I usually try to play it safe. Now, you could point out you can nitpick certain details on my channel and be like, well, you did this and this and this, but this is a very particular thing that, again, one, it applies now in the current day and age due to how terms of service works in general, and two, this is still kind of a different issue. Like, if we're talking particularly World of Horror mods, and even that's not even the real thing, because it's a thing about when you upload things or put things on places, then I cannot... There's some risk incurred, and obviously there's some, you can say things about risk and reward, but this is a particularly for me, again, on this channel at least, bare minimum, it is something that is a large risk for next to little reward if we're speaking in more ways than one. So that's why again, to rewind it back, I try to make certain, or at least know, a lot of what I'm doing as I get into Task Medical History character exclusive custom character about playing and or making certain videos or streams either concerning things or include things or are about things that I may or may not be able to do. And that was a really wish-washy stream of consciousness, but just if nothing else, that's also what's going through my mind as I'm choosing to do certain things, at least for this channel. And obviously, I extend this to other places as well. There's a second encounter check, that's all I need to know. Takushi-san first as well, but yeah, it's a whole thing that I need. Again, at least getting to the process of at least one content creator and or streamer goes over when you are doing things. So, and again, this only applies to really me because I can only be in control of myself. What other people choose to do is outside of what, I can actually speak about. Now, if I were to give criticism or give opinions on things that I may or may not agree with, of course I can do that, but the important part is that you are doing things or not doing things that have their own risks and rewards, and those risks can include just flights of fancy, depending on how do I want to say it? Depending on outside circumstances, I guess is what we can say. So again, anything could happen is a very, very non-accurate but still general way to say things. I think we also have Ward as well, so I might as well do this. I know I'm on Task, but this is just as important. And so yeah, that's really all I really can and probably should say on the topic, because anything else, again, would pretty much be hearsay. I've given at least one specific example, and again, it's that definitely on mod sites, there are things that you can toggle when you're uploading things, and if you toggle certain things, basically they are unreachable to people who want to stream or create content. Now, you could still do things, that's not saying but basically at that point you are legally breaking terms if you do certain things. Now, even verbal things, like if someone throws up a mod to World of Horror eventually, if this game is able to be like completely modded, but then they say, please do not use this in videos and whatnot. Even though they may not be legally binding, it can become legally binding because the person's intent, and depending on the place you live, it all goes into the general situation of, hey, if trouble arises, then what was said, what was written down, what was actually done, and part of that is, again, verbal consent can be a legally binding thing. I don't want to say it in that way, but it's a way you can say it. Also, I should have 2 max threat level locations. Why am I not seeing it? Is it apartments? No. I'm just going crazy. Oh, I'm on Cultist, by the way. That's why. Never mind. I have to reset. I'm on True Believer. Sorry, I only did the thing. So we'll speed through this. I mean, I have more than enough time. Usually it takes me 40 minutes to go through one character. Even though we've done a few runs, I mean, I've died quickly, relatively quickly, so... Rewind. I am kind of not focused right now, but Zektas Exquisite Taste. It's just more that, again, explain what's... I think that it's more important for me to talk about what's happening on this channel, to some extent. Now, I can't just keep talking about my channel. That would sound like a cop-out, but as we get both second checks and a light check... Not really anything else I can build. I can try to build dexterity, but we have a semi-auto, and we have some perception. I think was semi-auto ever a perception weapon? I can't remember. But anywho, definitely police station, definitely rest. We don't need to prepare. It would be nice in case we get ward stuff, but we're on Zektas. I'm probably just gonna rush through, which also means I don't want to use monument. Again, this is what's going through my head as well, as I'm pretty much autopiloting, but. I shouldn't be autopiloting. Coma Sailor's teacher painting Vigil. Okay, I guess we're taking Vigil first. If for no other reason than to get a non-town mystery out of the way. We have 5 dexterity, but of course we're not going to roll 5 or below. But yeah, just know that that's what's going on right now, and it also applies from now on to the future. Unless something really changes, obviously. If something outside of my control changes for the better, then I will be more than happy to, what do I want to say? I don't want to say reap the rewards, that's not exactly correct, but in a way it is, so... Or it can be. Meat Cleaver, but we don't need to use this, so let's move on. Let's trade stamina here, and yeah, I am still tired. I got, I think, 6 hours of rest within the last... Well, actually, if we're talking about with the last 24 hours... Well, 18 hours, sorry. Not including the last time I slept over a night's worth. Then, as I eat 3... Do I want to actually eat this? No, I don't. No, I have 3 strength. I can't do anything better, can I? I can kick, but I don't want to do this next turn. So... I guess we are just eating 3 reason damage to the face, and I forgot what I was talking about. So, if someone wants to know, then feel free to remind me, but otherwise, let's move on. So, something I do want to talk about, at least really quickly, is that I have noticed that even though I'm pretty much speaking non-stop, I think I've gotten better at controlling myself. Again, yes, this has to do with the channel again, but more as me as a person, because I will have to be doing things that involve me communicating at lengths of time. So, we will see if I can improve on that. Because at the same time, yes, I've said against it over and over again. I'm speaking against myself now when I say there are moments I want to stop and at least breathe, but really just stop and hold on, let me just focus on not dying here. Optimally, I want a strong attack, but I don't think I actually have a lot of time, don't I? Well, I have a 90-80 chance. And it won't die immediately. I do need to throw this empty bottle. Yes, I do. But I hope I hit both of these attacks first. But yeah, I've said over and over before that having dead air for at least more than a few seconds is normally not good. So, again, if anyone... I just want to say this at least as for general advice. If I were to give some advice, is that if anyone tells you that, hey, you're speaking too much... Yeah, you don't want to be speaking every single second because you can't expect someone to hang on to every single word. There is a point in emphasizing points. And taking the moment to breathe is a part of that, as I have not enough strength for this, but at the same time, having dead air, 1, leaves you open to random strikes by robots, 2, is not actually good for a video unless you're going for small or no commentary, which is often not the case, because now with certain rulings, as we move into reason number 3, you need to provide at least some commentary, even if it's... I mean, it can't be complete and total nonsense, but you do, for the sake of your video and or stream, especially if you're a content creator, it would do you a lot better in more ways than you think to fill that dead air with something that at least is of your own creation. Usually your voice, and usually you speaking about a subject, but again, if anyone tells you otherwise, it's not a great point. In fact, it's a very bad point, but obviously you can have the bad version of the other side as well, which is, hey, this person doesn't stop talking, and if you realize that there is some valid criticism or opinions there, why is this still at max threat level? I think, didn't I not run into an event that increased my threat level? Anywho. Still, though, if I were to choose between, having going silent 6 times in a minute for more than, 3 seconds, I would rather be as I am now, as I roll a 12 on perception. Nice. Because the alternative... Well, I would rather be as I am now, because the alternative is less interesting videos. I think I agree. I've tried making a recording where that's how I know this for a fact, at least for me, that it doesn't go so well. So I do want to handcuff this, by the way. I do get to immediately, but do I really, really need to? I think the answer is yes. But let's just be completely certain. 7 damage. Yeah, that's not enough. I could throw the meat cleaver. 7 to 11 HP, and then I do this. I think it's better. So that I don't use the handcuffs. And we'll set the sensor bunny up preemptively. And let's get into the boss. That was perfect. What wasn't perfect is me not leveling up, but not like I can do much with it anyway. So we have a ammo stash... CQC training, question mark? So because we have the military background and something else. That looks like, I want to say close quarters. Actually, no, this is just military background, I think. Discipline ammo stash? No, CQC training. No, CQC training is close quarter. Oh, I'm going crazy. I swear I saw CQC training earlier. Maybe it was during testing. But anywho, the important part is I need increased strength. Now, if I saw folklore studies, I probably should have done it, but we're definitely taking, 3 doom damage here, unless I can throw something? And I can't really do that, so away I go. And I take badly bleeding here, right? Nope, never mind. We do have a bullet now. That's ammo stash, right? Yeah, ammo stash. But the semi-auto doesn't do great damage when shot. It's, funny enough, a better... melee weapon, so let's use it as a melee weapon. Coma Sailor's Painting. Never mind. This is a lot better, but I might still end up running away regardless because, well, this is a very low doom threshold to be at for my third mystery, but the more important thing is that we are on Zektast, and Zektast should not get to this character. Now, if we keep rolling 11s and 12s with modifiers, we won't be fine, but I should be able to survive this run. That's all I'm trying to say. So, nice little touch that the low reason graphic is basically the character raising the gun. Ooh, the scariness, basically. But let's grab this light source and move out. On a very, very odd way, seeing painting does allow you to get a free point in perception, but from what I've seen, most custom characters are either all in on being Zektast, or trying to make up stats for Zektast is not as hard, or very hard. It's hard for me to find an in-between. Those in-betweens are actually the base vanilla characters of World of Horror, so... yeah. Oh, censor, by the way. Sorry! It's a very good thing that the censor for this game, putting up a sensor for that boss for World of Horror, doesn't actually block too much, but I mean, it still blocks quite a bit, and we did run into the easy encounter. For those who don't know why I call that the easy encounter, with quotation marks, is the visual thing that you're not seeing, is that there was a discussion in the community that said that Rumugos was an easy encounter, And obviously on Harbinger, that's less so the case, especially since it's an encounter that can take upwards of 3 or 4 minus all damage. For me, that's just very much a fact of life, but I mean, because the thing is, when you run into Rumu Ghost, it's one of two things. Either you're just going to run away, or two, you're the person who's like, see, I beat Rumu Ghost, but odds are, if you're in a situation to beat Rumu Ghost, you'd probably be able to beat most encounters with much relative ease, if that makes any sense. Basically, you have like 20 knowledge, and even then, that might not be enough. Well, is it enough? Man, it might not even be enough, because Rumu Ghost can have more than 24 HP. So, and then you're taking minus 3 all damage if it's 4th Mystery onward, which is not fun. Again, it's a very odd thing with Ghosts, where I think more than a few of them do like all damage. And if they don't do all damage, they do at least 2 damage base, which means on Harbinger they do 3 damage. And obviously the thing about bracing is that even without which is the odd thing, right? Even without bracing, right? We want to equip that immediately, by the way. Even without the brace nerf, brace used to be 155 time units, you still needed a boatload of strength to make it so that you could brace, and lo and behold, let's rant about this for a moment. So, yeah, ghost encounters, they're just really painful, and you can't really get brace anyway, so even though, oh no, brace was nerfed, oh, I'm really missing that 8 time unit damage. So, it really didn't matter. So, all that really meant was that it really just nerfed the strength in general, just by a little bit, because again, normally you don't have like 8 strength when you need it to fight ghosts to brace sever, and even when you can brace sever, a lot of characters that have a lot of strength, at base anyway, base characters, not custom characters, can't really brace and sever for a lot of damage. And even when you can, let's just give benefit of the doubt, you do about 4 damage here, so you're still taking 3 all damage, which is not great. So, and I think this one gives like 8 experience. Do I even want to humor this? We only have 2 knowledge and we're doing 2 damage. So again, we run here. And it's a very Zektas specific thing, because Zektas lowers their stats, which means if you start with 4 or 5 knowledge, you can end up doing less damage to ghosts in general. Which again, I guess theoretically, well, it does push you towards doing the ritual. But if you're not lucky with the ritual, well, in that encounter I would have taken what? 12 to 15 all damage? I'm being really generous there. But, because obviously the worst you can do when you're flowcharting the ghost ritual is that you have 5 attempts, and then you get hit on the 5th attempt too, which is why we include 15 all. You get what I mean? So it's not, ghost encounters are still not in a great place. That's the takeaway here. Also, I do need to put a point into knowledge, but we should be relatively fine here. We're likely gonna be able to level up. Now, can I do this, is the question. Man, that's so worthless. Well, you know what actually needs... Well, I think they're on the same priority level. Ghost encounters are still ghost encounters. And then the fire weapon action is not the burst damage you expect. Now, with one-handed weapons, it kind of makes sense, even though it still doesn't. But from a gameplay standpoint, it definitely needs help. So I am willing to take 4 stamina damage here. Because we can do upwards of 10 to 15 damage per turn, which is cool, but at the same time, we're losing minus 4 stamina. But this is the last mystery, so I'm doing a thing where I'm kind of rolling my eyes. I think I actually want a pack of cigarettes. You know what? We'll risk it. Survivor's Guilt, Doom, that's fine. Masochistic, that's also technically fine. Oh, we don't have cigarettes. I'm on Exquisite Taste. Oh, forgetting. But nonetheless, I should be able to still theoretically survive, which is even worse because you get ringing ears after firing. Yeah, and you get ringing ears after firing, which, again, I technically don't mind design-wise because that's supposed to push you towards using it on bosses. And you only get 1 over the course of a mystery, right? It's not like when you fire twice in 2 separate encounters, you can't get a stack of ringing ears. So that's That's kind of a saving grace of sorts, but at the same time. So, I will throw this flashlight away if need be, unless I just die here, but I didn't want to take the risk, but I probably should have, because I just ended up losing the run myself. So, onward we go. But yeah, overall that character's actually, I mean, that's supposed to be the harder version of the character, and it is, but definitely still a lot likely to... I mean, I got to the last mystery and I was pretty much not paying attention. But as we move to the old school Ryoko, we can just say that outright. If you don't know where this character comes from, this comes from a pack, or a sequence of characters, let's just say, as we get to Ath World of Horror character exclusive custom character. A sequence of characters made by one person who just wanted to make every NPC playable, including packs of NPCs like the students, or double encounters like Mr. Coin and Pachinko. But anywho, ring ears on Murko with a shotgun makes sense. Ring ears with handguns makes less sense. I mean, if we want to be realistically speaking, not that I have my own experience to back it up, but I'm sure you could reason out that shooting a one-handed weapon can cause some tinnitus. But anywho, strength, knowledge, charisma, and if you do have experience and can correct me otherwise, I mean, I'm not saying that to 100% refute what was said. I'm just saying. Tachi-san liked second encounter, by the way. I might as well remember it because things. I think we had a weapon, right? It's not the best weapon. In fact, it's a very bad weapon, but we'll play ball because it's a weapon the character has. Now, the perception is not great, but hopefully the perks are fine, and we'll put on costume B because it has a costume B. This character has a costume B. Vigil, mermaids, painting, coma, ward. We did have ward. I think I did put the thing, but I first want to get rid of Vigil. I would switch to the meat cleaver here, but to humor the thought, let's do a thing. Also, does this character actually... You can actually give that, right? Actually, I'm just going to check really quick. This might seem like cheating, but I swear I'm not looking at things. Okay, so you can give bullets. I forgot that that's a thing that you can do, but you literally just put the word bullets and then the number of bullets you want on the character. However, you can still substitute that by giving the character funds or the extra ammo perk. But realistically speaking, if you can just straight up give the character bullets, I think that would be, gameplay wise, it gives you a better early start, I guess, if that makes any sense. Clap, bow, and I almost stored the gosh dang pamphlet. But yeah, I completely forgot. Which means, again, you can probably do more with the bonus thing. And I've shown you can do more with the bonus thing, because as long as it's in the game, you can give it. Now, whether or not you might end up crashing the game is a whole different story. I've definitely accidentally crashed the game due to things, but hey. Oh, as I kick another thing, we should be certainly fine. Now, what I do want to do, I was thinking of doing a thing, and also, yes, your character can pop out of the screen. That's just the nature of using graphical assets in World of Horror. But what can I actually do? So, yeah, not really much. I don't want to do this either. So what we're actually going to do is fire this hunting rifle. It is a very powerful weapon when shot. Similar to the sports rifle, which you often don't get, but... Okay, and the whole point is that you end up using ringing ears anyway. The problem with giving the character only bullets and waiting for a level up is that, one, if the character had extra ammo, and this is not like negative criticism, this is just thinking about strategy. But a character who has extra ammo gets more ammo than a character who starts with it. Obviously, if the character has the perk, that's still less ammo than what you would have. Also, unfortunately, I ran into another encounter, but that's an Ath encounter, so not as much I could do about that. I could do protective carvings, though. I should probably do that. And away we go. Now, we don't get to level up yet, so the next encounter we run into, we either have to be lucky that's easy, or we're just going to end up running away. We lost Bath, by the way, so that's already really, really bad, but hey, we'll deal with it. Mermaids, painting ward. Now, I do want to take a town mystery before ward, and we might as well do coma. Seaside's cool. We do have mermaids, so we want to probably set the police patrols to the school. I almost said police station, but it's accurately speaking, it's police patrol. So let's do that while grabbing handcuffs. Now, if a future patch ends up making it so that you get kicked out when you take the handcuffs, so be it. Because what then will happen, unless the drawer becomes locked when you use the police station's obvious use, is that you just set the police patrols and then grab the handcuffs. Now, I think the fairer one is just to do the handcuff thing, but because how you'd implement that is similar to the monument. Like, once you grab the handcuffs, you just lock out the police station. Basically, that's all. That is one way to, if you wanted to nerf the police station, that you nerf it. But anywho, as we fight the Dullners, let us employ Dullner's tactics, which is to become a recycler. And we'll move on with life. Now again, the bad thing is that if for some reason this character does not have extra ammo, we're in a bit of trouble. But usually, you're giving a character who uses firearms 2 of pretty much 3 or 4 perk packs, from what I can think of. Because I think 1 perk pack is exclusively for firearm weapons, and if your character does not use a firearm weapon for whatever reason, you're pretty much just nerfing yourself. So, I mean, it's a good side strat in case you, I don't know, do timeline A scissors into the small key with arms, but again, not really much to talk about there because it's pretty self-evident that firearm characters normally have firearm perks. Now, you can then pair them with things like, say, Witch's Child for spells or Frequent Shopper, in case you want them to only rely on buying extra ammo, but otherwise it's like, what, CQC training and or maybe close quarters? There was something else. I think military background is the one, right? So, if it wasn't military background, CQC training, I think is the 2 you give. That's just the brute force, hey, this character uses a firearm weapon. But then you have to give them enough perception for it to matter. So, anywho. So I probably haven't improvised enough, but it should be fine. So do we even see it? We do. So we do want to take this ammo stash. I'm actually going to take strength. I should actually take knowledge for the sake of ghost encounters, but I'll try that next level up. And yeah, I think we should be okay here. If nothing else, we only take 2 stamina damage, so that would be nice. I think I get to prep strong out of this one. But yeah, without further ado. So I don't know if you heard that, but I did get a notification of sorts. So, yeah, I will have to, unfortunately I got stone statues there, but unfortunately I will have to probably do one more run with this character. I do have 3 characters usually prepped, and I do this time, but unfortunately basically have to end the stream earlier than I think. So yeah, just saying that as a pre-warning. Now, what I also wanted to say is that I might not come out with Event of the Day again today, depending on what happens, but I'll let you know within 6 to 12 hours. Because usually I like to upload or have it scheduled for, again, pretty much 6 to 9 hours from now. That way it comes out on schedule. And it gives me enough time to sit and think about things. I also never got the hospital pass, rip, but I could just shoot the guy. So, and we have some items to throw. So, but yeah, I usually like to sit on videos. I don't like to release them when they're hot, usually. And if I am about to do something like that, I've done it more than a few times, but if I am going to just finish rendering a video and then immediately upload it. I like to at least, if it's a quick video, I just watch it and then upload it. Otherwise, if it's a faster or if it's a longer upload, I get into the process just, for the sake of time while watching the video, or at least listening to it. Depends on the type of video, really, but most of the time I make sure my videos are, they do the thing. I'm just gonna take 1 all damage, probably. So, yeah. Again, normally I wouldn't be like this for streams and videos, but it's because, again, this month, and probably next month, because of how oofed I am as I forget protective carvings here. I'm going to take a risk and do it again. I swear I'm not trying to throw just to end the stream earlier, but not that I have a choice right now. But, my neck, but. A lot of butts. B-U-T only. There's a lot of things I need to say. Oh, buddy boy. Okay, I was about to say, am I going to get hurt there? Actually would have been great, because I thought I could have rested. I have like 18% due. Now 15% on my 3rd mystery. This is pretty good. And this is a full ward as well, so I should have actually traded Doom for a reason there, but hey. What I will say is that there will be a Slay the Spire video out. I'm just going to say the name right out because 1, I forgot, but 2, it's not so bad. So at least you'll have something else to fend for yourself. And as usual, my rule is I at least like to put out a roll of video first. Now, I think there's been a day or two where that wasn't the case, but for the most part, that's the rule. Let's level up quickly as well. No, actually I'm going to take Folklore Studies. And yeah, in the process of trying to take the custom character's face, they're going to get shot for it in the game. So, we get 1 bullet again. I think it is 1 to 2 bullets, but I swear I've never seen 2 bullets. Or at least I have not focused on whether or not I picked up 2 bullets. I probably have, but I forgot. So, what do I want actually here? Can't really use this anymore, but having it with me is still quite good. Now, I could have taken 2 perception so that I can at least attack twice in a turn, but usually you're going to shoot things. So to kind of actually focus on custom character and what this series is actually supposed to be about is that this character actually has a very easy time defeating most, if not every boss. Aside from Recluse, but Recluse is a special case. Because if you're able to get out of coma ending A, especially on Knight Errant, we're not on Knight Errant, but just say for the sake of argument and for gameplay balance, or how this character works strategy-wise, is that I can basically do paintings ending here without really any issue. Even if I didn't have branches and broken bottles, I think the boss drops in 1. And if they don't, they drop relatively quickly, which allows me to at least get an ally that I can send towards an enemy if I really, really need to. But if the ally is good, in this case Amy is okay, you don't really actually use Amy too much, but it's good to have allies, basically. Especially if you have fame. So, specifically speaking, if this character also had fame for whatever reason, there's some synergy going on where with the sports rifle, you get to have a lot of fun defeating bosses and getting ending A. But definitely with ending A, I don't want to trade anything. I guess I'll trade stamina for a reason. But definitely for getting ending A, being able to defeat bosses is a very important thing to do. Because otherwise, you just have to take Knight Errant penalty. So we don't get to defeat this in one shot. But we get near enough close, and losing 4 for... I mean, I can throw these things. I can actually throw the empty bottle, so I'll throw that instead, just to prove a point. But, as I get only 1 bullet again... Yeah, that, in this case, beats out doing 2 mansion investigations, because those can be bad. Whereas if you fight the boss, and you only do 1 investigation, then you know you're gonna get out. That being said, we can extend this to mermaids as well. So, mermaids, this janitor is not going to have a fun time, basically. When Ryoko walks up in the house, or OG Ryoko does anyway, it's not fun. Now, that being said, I'm going to heal stamina here because I'm scared, but I'm scared. But the point still stands. The hunting rifle, when you have the bullets for it, you do one-shot things. Now, I forgot to take out more stuff, but we should still be fine here. I'm going to actually not take the risk and do this instead. I think eventually I get 10 damage, so I don't mind doing this. Unless I somehow end up dying to stamina, but that'll depend on events. And depends how high my accuracy. Okay, this is guaranteed. We just do Desperate Strong. Didn't need to throw that much, but hey. Oh, I just did a thing. No! Well, it's fine. I think it's fine. Let me just, as I'm investigating, I need to pull back and do a thing. Oh! Basically, I sneezed. And then I usually get my arm, but I didn't this time, so I'm just wiping things down. Because when you sneeze, things fly out at a very fast speed. Let's just say that much. Reason, right? Okay, good. I have a lot of rest to do, and I'm on Ath. There's no reason I shouldn't be resting here. Now, do I have fetid fumes is the question? No, so I should be resting here. There's no reason for me not to be resting. I can rest until like 65% doom even. But let's just play it safe. We fight something else. Do I want to do this? I don't, but... Because the thing is, the question you ask, or I'm asking myself, is does the experience I get matter? Because otherwise we're taking a lot of HP... We're taking more HP damage. And if the answer to that question is no, then just run. And the question now is whether or not I get to one-shot. I probably do. But let's find out. So it is possible for me to do a thing here. The question is if I do it. No, I think I got hit. It looked like I got hit. Anywho. Basically handcuff after shooting because it pops you to ringing ears. Now you could kind of cheese it, but I wanted to be cool. But that didn't happen, so let's head to the lighthouse. I forgot you could do that from there, but anywho. So we don't pass any of the stat checks anyway. But we don't need to pass that many, so we just ascend the lighthouse. And if we die, so be it. The point is that this is another kind of start that can be very strong. Now, you do have to get extra ammo, because without extra ammo, pain happens. But, you know, if you build perception as well, that's not a bad stat to build in, because then that allows you to... It's an easier time getting the katana, let's just say it outright. But otherwise, being able to attack twice in a turn, if you're running into low-power enemies, you know, it's a good decision. I personally don't, because I like bracing anyway, but hey, as we get into our Zektast run, let us find out if this still holds, because I'm pretty sure I have a lot of ZST to make up for. So, without further ado, Zektast World of Horror, character exclusive, custom character, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ZST to make up. So definitely looking for those generic perks, but overall this is going to be a very painful run. Second Mystery Light, every single stat check pretty much, so that's going to hurt as well. But if we can rush through this, theoretically speaking, we only have 1 ZST to make up, which is a lot more manageable. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not, but... 1, it's going to depend on my RNG. Let me get my funds first, because for some reason I did not grab it. We'll rock costume default A, and see Akamanto, Hell, Mermaid, Scissors, Kana. So let's grab Kana first. I could rush this here, I'm not going to. But hey. But yeah, definitely after this week, hopefully we run to normal stream times, which is for 2 hours. I mean, more than a majority of my streams in the past 2 or 3 weeks have been less than 2 hours, which I'm personally not happy with. But for the most part, what I get out of it, if I'm looking at what I get out of streams and things, it's not so bad unless, like, something really bad happens to the channel. But anywho, do I want to just eat this in the face? I don't want to run, but we do have Kana with us. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go for it. So, we'll take this concussion. If I die quickly, then I'm just going to accept that as my fate. It is on me to make runs last as long as possible. Now, taking 6 stamina damage is still not great, but it's better than increasing my doom and dying to stats quickly. Because otherwise, again, in a very funny way, Zektas tries to turn the rule of spend doom instead of die on stamina or reason on its head to some extent. So as we proceed to prepare and get ready to poke Kana's eye out, and again, the Zektas issue is more pressing with the character who has, say, 2 in a stat, or 3 when you start on Harbinger. That doesn't mean any character... Yeah, again, most characters have to get a stat or 2 in at least... Well, 1, but on average 2. But really only 1 for base characters, I think. I think there's like... Obviously, there are characters who have less than 5 on a lot of their... If not all of their stats, but 90% of them have mechanics to counter Zektas, and the other one requires some, not foresight, but some preemptiveness, I guess, is the more correct term. Maybe I should have taken Akamanto first, but it's a bit too late. Now, we're on timeline A. But I don't want these scissors, so we'll remember the double star as we grab a wooden bat and move on. I really shouldn't, but I'm going to do it for giggles, and I have paid for it. So, we'll take the injury, because that shouldn't affect my fire damage, and if it does, well, that's weird. I could shoot this, but we get out in 3 turns. Even if we didn't have cut arm sinew, we get out in 3 turns for relatively low damage, so I'll take it. And we'll move on. We get another concussion, but that's fine for the moment. Oh, my body. Star. Upright star. And as a quick aside, you'll note that even though, well, you could say, well, Jordan, didn't you make Elise? And while the answer to that is yes, the concept behind me making Elise is that she is older than 20. That's for sure, is what I want to say. But I don't want to say the reason why, because then that would be spoilers a little bit. But even though it may or may not be. Nice 12 roll, I have 2 knowledge, but you know, where it happens. Now, unfortunately, I don't get to increase my knowledge, and there is no strength perk, so we just increase our strength for now. But yeah, that's... don't want to make underage... I think that's... well, I don't want to say anything, but just know that the characters of World of Horror were aged up, and that leads me to the same conclusion, especially if I'm making a character that I'm going to be playing in a video and or a stream. So hey, but at the same time, because at the same time, yes, I have put out Elise. What I wanted to actually talk about then, or what I was going to branch off to, no, I forgot. But essentially you have to make graphics for your characters, and boy, now that extends into the realm of personal use, so you can't really control if someone decides to do things with events and mystery, whatever that may be. with events, mysteries, and custom characters. That's on their own thing. But if I'm going to make a video or play streams of World of Horror, obviously I have to know what I can and cannot do. So, especially if you're uploading character to the Discord server, obviously there are rules in place. So, yeah. Now, that's not to say that you can't put up things that are, not respectable, but that show respect to lore and whatnot. But erring on the side of caution is not a bad idea either, in my opinion. And I forgot where actually I was going with this, so I guess I'm just going to stop the conversation there. Oh, that's right. I still have cut arms in you, don't I? And frostbite. So we'll try to get rid of that after this encounter. But first and foremost, we throw one of these. We can thankfully still get 100%, but we do want to still do a thing. So, let's School Nurse. Hopefully, yeah, definitely gets rid of Frostbite. Doesn't get rid of Cut Arm Sinew, because that's major, I believe. We get a discharge summary for our trouble, but I'm still a bit off for my pack of cigarettes. I actually should have sold something there, but hey, it's fine. I can sell this. Yeah, I'll sell that. And let's hope we don't die to reason. Again, I swear I'm not throwing. We'll take a nap for nothing. Basically just lose 2 all damage. But more important, I used the handcuffs, didn't I? Well, too late now. This is Akamanto, so I do want to keep my stamina above 5. But the good news is we can immediately... Oh, that's not the right action. Oh man, I'm getting tired. But we can just immediately prep shoot. Then we grab the Crestfallen Mask, and yeah, look at us. Oh. I had to do that away from the mic if possible, but I think that went through. Yeah, I definitely heard it. Because it sounded louder to me than it did in my headphones, which I am wearing right now. Deft handling, by the way, that will definitely help out. But I need a point in knowledge now, because otherwise bad things happen. And into Household Hell I go. We'll save mermaids for last. We may or may not be able to arrest the janitor, but... Well, if we keep the baseball bat in the empty bottle, we definitely can, but... If we can't, a 2-turn would also sound nice. So... let's see what happens to my face. If nothing else... You know what I might actually do? No, I won't, because then I don't know if anyone will be here. And usually I do try to keep in contact with members of, the chat that, have asked questions before and therefore deserve answers. In this particular case, again, I obviously usually won't make videos if there's no audience, so I do pay attention to my analytics, but part of that is actually engagement with the audience. I should do more polls and whatnot, but I mean, if I'm speaking with several people anyway, I might as well ask questions here and there. And again, I always open that up. Like, if you want to contact me, which people have, that's part of the reason why we have an anon. I need to do this. So if for no other reason, I'm saying this to myself. I do want to run here, actually. But we can shoot this once. I think I will. But right after this... Because, yeah, we still have a bullet for the boss of mermaids. But yeah, again, basically just want to say that my ears and keyboard are open for talking. Now, if you're being unreasonable about it, because I've gotten more than a few of people like that, I will unfortunately have to turn you away, or just be radio silent, because then I don't want to, not endorse, but I don't want, what's the exact, there's a word for it. But basically, I don't want to make trouble for myself. So just know that, well, I'm definitely not doing it maliciously. It's for the safety of more people than just myself. So, yeah, I actually want to take that. And then probably Charisma on top, just to make sure I survive Zectast. Also, even though I have Dexterity as well. But we should be able to level up again, question mark? Ooh, maybe not. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. I do need to rest a few times, so... yeah, we'll see. But yeah, just know... oh, that's what I was talking about. So I have to update... Lele. Or, I mean, I did update Lele. If you look in the Discord server right now, you'll know that you'll see that I uploaded a different version. What I need to put up is a preview of the changes. Nice Zecast event right at the end of the run after I probably have 42 or 63% Doom, but what I needed was Dexterity. Now, could I have built Dexterity instead? Actually, probably not, right? But anywho. Let's hope we don't die to stamina. That's all I really can ask for. And if I do, then pain. But we definitely run here. High threat level, max threat level downtown. Well, we won't be investigating downtown anymore. Or as much. Yeah, anymore. So instead we go. I probably could have visited the monument, but I'm not deciding to do that. What I also could do here is... yeah, we can double shot, right? Well, we can shoot this and then shoot the Mad Janitor. Well, let's find out. So, the answer to that is actually yes. Because I was about to say no, but we have this. So, let's use it. I'll lose it. Let's lose it. Just lose it. I'll lose it. Hey, lose it. But, more importantly, we should be able to survive this run. And at least we can end on a success. Now, I would like to play the other character as well. So maybe that'll be a video. If not today, then tomorrow. Because again, I'm going to be very busy this weekend, so... again, if I'll be in contact, basically. Now, it might be a bit late, depending, but... yeah. So I'm just going to boldly... well, I shouldn't actually boldly stroll, but... we'll do this much, and if I die to stamina, I've done an oopsie-doopsie. Basically, I don't need to concentrate too much. Now, I might still die to stamina, but... okay, I died to stamina. Nice Zectas strength event, by the way. Oh, or dexterity, but either way. That was a survival. I'll take the moral victory. But without further ado, I do have to make a run, so... I don't have to run for it, but I have to actually end the stream. But I will announce something. So please subscribe to the channel if nothing else, if you haven't subscribed already. If you're watching from the future, I would gladly appreciate it because any little bit helps. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's just put it out there, and I'm probably going to do everything in my power aside from things that are scummy to do so. That will not include advertising on Twitch, which is where I'm going to be streaming in about 10 hours from now. Basically, what do I want to say? What's actually, I don't even know my own time zone. Like the name of my own time zone. But let's put a few out there right now. So current time, what's the current time? Central time zone. Oops. I can't even see because I'm using the wrong thing. So let me do a thing. Let me do a thing. So let me just put this out there. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10 hours from now. So that will be 11 p.m. CST. What will that be in Eastern Standard? I live in the US, so that's why I'm using this time, but that's is that even correct? I feel like that's not correct. 9 p.m. EST, and let's do PST. No, that's PST. 9 p.m. PST and 6 p.m. EST, and then let's just do a few more just to put it out there. So 10, 5, 4 a.m. 4 a.m. UTC, and just for giggles, JST, and that will be at 2 a.m. JST. So there you go. There's the time zones for the stream that's happening on Twitch. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, I might do it earlier, later, but not really much else to say. Memberships are still open, and I think they'll remain open unless I end up like not putting out content like for 75% of the month. Then I might just suspend or do something, but otherwise I'm still working on this channel, still trying to do things, and I will let you know when things progress. But otherwise I won't take up more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye!